This is Molly. We're in the second season, episode 12, and I got an amazing speaker today. And I got a person that told me, dude, you always say you got an amazing speaker. They're all amazing. And they are all amazing. I don't bring BS people, okay? And let me tell you first before I introduce this guy, this is how I met Daquan. That's his name. I met Daquan because I'm in this one of these Facebook groups, and someone asked a question about marketing and stuff. And this dude, he took the time to like write a testament, and it was super like the best answer I've seen in like probably the last 6 years, of marketing and strategy and stuff. Who, by the way, this guy is a strategy expert, okay? And he's gonna tell you more about that in a second. But that's how I met him, and I'm like, this guy, he knows what he's doing, okay? So that's why I'm like, shit, I gotta have this guy in my interviews immediately. And now here he is. So I'm very excited to present you to Daquan Dhall. That's his name, and he's a strategy consultant that helps brick and mortar locations improve customer experience. He has helped hundreds of small businesses all over the country for decades, just doing that. Okay, just what he does, which is a strategy. He's a strategy consultant, and he's gonna let us know more about exactly what he does and how he helps businesses in a second. So he is dedicated in improving the lives of entrepreneurs, their families, and their employees, and he works to help build wealth for those entrepreneurs in all of their local communities. So without further ado, thank you so much. Please give a big welcome to my friend Daquan. Woo! Let's go. Welcome, dude.
Thank you for the warm welcome. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Man, how you doing? Tell us.
I'm pretty good. I can't complain. I live in Miami, so.
No, yeah, dude. I mean, you're in one of the coolest places on earth, right?
Yeah.
305.
Yeah. We tend to like it a lot.
Dude, Miami is nice. It's excellent. So my friend, you have an amazing story. We all have an amazing story. Tell our audience here more about you and your story and everything you've gone through until this time, until this moment.
Well, I actually grew up the child of an entrepreneur. My mom opened a nonprofit, I want to say in the year 2002. When she graduated college, I was about 16. So that was my first foray into understanding what it really meant to be an entrepreneur. But even with that, my mom didn't immediately find a bunch of success. There was still a bunch of pitfalls, and I got to have that front row seat to see what was going on. So fast forward a few years later, I fall into the job, being a consultant at a small nonprofit where they work with local small businesses. And I was excited just to come in and, work with the businesses and understand more. But I fell in love with it, and I found some of the same issues my mom was going through with, having her business. These entrepreneurs were going through too. And one of the biggest issues they had was cash. How do we generate enough cash to not only support ourselves, but pay our staff, grow the business, and all those other little issues, finance new machines, be able to become bankable, right? So those issues. So I took it upon myself to go a little bit further, learn a little bit more, and eventually I started my business to be able to help small businesses do that.
Beautiful. So from a young age, you knew the struggles of all of us, business owners, entrepreneurs, and yeah.
All too well.
What is it?
All too well. Yeah.
Dude, yeah. So what most people see as challenges, you might see as, it's a challenge, but you see solutions where most people see problems and stuff.
Yeah.
Hey, we have some comments already. They say, hello, I love this interview. Hi. And the people on Instagram, we can't see your comments. I'm sorry if you're watching on Instagram, unfortunately. You can let us know afterwards, and Daquan is going to leave all of his info, so you can hit him up if you need something, and mine as well, of course. So you already from a young age, you knew the solutions because you found out for yourself, right? Like nobody taught you anything. You found it out for yourself.
Yeah, I always say I got everything that I know about business out the mud. I was a young little hustler. My first little business was selling bookmarks in school in third grade. Exactly. Third grade, I would sell bookmarks for 25 cents at school. And I would just take notebook paper, draw something on them, and start selling them. Doing that little back of the envelope math to figure out a business has always been a little thing that I like doing. And honestly, this is what was meant for me. I just have an analytical mind. So digging into the numbers is just something that I enjoy. Even though I know most people hate the math, but
yeah. So you which is about strategy, right? And I'm gonna ask you about that soon. You see the data, you see the resources, and you see the things, and you see the immediate best way or low-hanging fruit, some call, right, of how to use whatever they currently have to apply it right now and make, like you said at some point, you said like math numbers, like make the numbers a reality, right? Like you make it first in your head. I think that was Robert Kiyosaki that he says you first have to make the money in your mind and then make it like in real life.
Exactly. So it's a lot of an entrepreneur says, "Hey, I want to hit $5 million in sales by the end of the next 2 years." And they say, "Okay, well, how do we structure the plan that's realistic, actionable, and defensible, something we can actually accomplish? How do we make that happen, and what do we need to do?" And so it's just about figuring out what all those pieces are and kind of guiding them through that process.
Yeah, and that all of that leads me to my next question, but because it's very relevant and we all want to know why. So why marketing, Daquan, and why focusing in a strategy consulting? I'm sure it's because something that you figured out and you found out, but why? Why did you go that route?
So at first, I really wanted to go into advertising, but full transparency, I hate it. It's not my, not everything's for everybody. So I know how to do the things, but I just do not like doing them at all. Like the SEO, the digital ads, all that stuff is just very tedious. But the thing that I love about strategy is that it enhances whatever's happening with the advertising, with the marketing. And when you have a good strategy, it makes your digital marketer more effective. When you have a good strategy, it makes your SEO person more effective. When you have a good strategy, it makes all of your new hires more effective because they know this little centralized document or this idea is how we form everything that we do in this company. When you don't have a good strategy, it sounds like you'll be saying stuff like, I can't get anybody that wants to work for me. Everybody quits or everybody's lazy, right? Or you have digital marketers, I could have did that myself. They didn't. Well, if you handed them just a product and said market it, well, they got to do the best they can, right? But if you come in there and say, no, this is how we're positioned in the market, right? This is the type of company you are. This is the very specific market segment that we serve. Well, then now the digital marketer says, let me go click this age group, this interest, this, so on and so forth. And it just makes everything work better. And it means you can take vacations. For all the entrepreneurs watching, when you have a good strategy, eventually you can take vacation. You can take days off. You can let people run the business for you.
Totally. But you need the strategy. And so the main reason is because you know about it and you know how important it is, but you don't like doing it. The do it, right? The execution. But obviously most people, they're also lacking a strategy. So you saw that you saw the opportunity on, I will provide you with a strategy. You find out how to apply it. Is that right?
It's somewhat. It's more like you find out the strategy and let's bring in a digital marketer and we'll work together with them and they'll execute the strategy and then we'll revisit and we'll keep working together and building that team up.
Got it.
My whole goal with everything I do is to kind of teach my clients how to hire somebody to replace me, how to hire their next CMO or marketing director, so on and so forth. So it's really about educating them so that they can lead that team. They can lead the agency that they decide to hire. They can lead, whomever else they might bring into the business.
Beautiful. Okay, man, we offer a service like that. Not exactly the same, but it's called Virtual CMO. You may have heard of it. And we becomes CMOs of of the companies that want to do that. Yeah. And it's being very successful, and people like it, but it's not for everyone.
Yeah.
It's not for everyone. I'm sure you know
you gotta be
have
ready.
stories about that. But we're not gonna get into that. My clients might fire me if I talk about that. So dude, so was this, you kind of already answered this, but you never wanted to do marketing, but the strategy part, right? Was that something that you always wanted to do? Like, do you feel like when you were a kid you were dreaming about that, or totally different, right?
Yeah, I've always been a strategist. Even when I didn't know what it was, I've always been one. So my mom always tells me the story about my grandmother who said I was really sneaky as a kid. She always said, you got to watch him because he's so sneaky. And really what it was that I just figured out a plan to get what I wanted that wouldn't get me in trouble, right? I strategized it. I played the chess game with the adults. So as I got older, I noticed that, even with bullies, even with anything, I was always just very strategic. I've always been very quiet. So people always thought I was quiet because I was shy. And I was like, no, I'm quiet because I'm kind of figuring out how everybody works in here to move around, So I just took that kind of natural mode of being and now I apply it to business.
Got it. Wow. So you were a kid, you were planning how to do the things you wanted to do, but you couldn't in the normal way of doing things, or how most people would approach something. And you figure it out. You're like, if I do this, it's gonna be okay to do this because of like you said. And I love chess, dude. I love chess. I haven't been playing for a while, but at some point in my life when I was like 13, I was gonna go to the regionals in my country and everything. And it's amazing how most of us don't like strategize a lot at all. And it's way easier when you think through and you figure it out, like, okay, how can I make this happen? Well, if you go around the corner and you sneak out, and like when you're a kid, right? It's gonna work. And you did it, and it worked, right?
Yeah, so the way I would do it was always kind of, if I knew I was gonna get caught, I'm just gonna do it in a way that you can't really be mad at me for what I did. Like I was kind of forced to do whatever I did, but I kind of just set them up so that they kind of had to go that way with me.
So I think it's kind of obvious, my friend, but sometimes I'm guilty of that. Like sometimes I think things are very obvious to me, or because I'm in a certain way, but for other people is not the case. But could you tell our friends here how important is the strategy in their marketing and their businesses?
So strategy is I'll tell you a story. I had a client that I was working with one time, and he had a startup, and I had to explain the concept of commander's intent that I got from Chip and Dan Heath's book, Made to Stick. So commander's intent is this idea that if we accomplish nothing else, we must accomplish one thing. It comes from the military, and they're basically how they form all strategic plans. They have a saying that say wars are won in the general's tent, and that's what happens. That's where commander's intent comes from. So you can think of it like, let's say the other saying is that no good plan survives contact with the enemy. So commander's intent was meant to handle those situations where things are going to go wrong. There's nothing we can do about that. However, if everything goes wrong, this is the one thing we must still accomplish. That's what commander's intent is.
Got it.
So when you think about Southwest, they used to be interested in being the low-cost airline carrier. So they formulated their entire business around the idea of being the low-cost airline carrier. So they didn't serve steak, right? They don't serve, fancy beverages or anything like that, because that won't help us be the low-cost airline leader. I don't know where everybody is, but if you're in the Southeast United States, then you know about Publix, right? Publix's slogan is to be the pleasurable shopping experience. So Publix does things like open packages for you. They walk you over to an item if you're lost. They will, if there's too many people in line, they go open up a line. They don't care who does it. It might be a manager, but they always go open the line. And I always contrast that with Walmart, who is focused on giving you everyday low prices. So Walmart don't walk you to no products. The lines aren't short. They don't go out of their way to make sure you were happy. They just go out of their way to make sure the price is low because they know that's why you came. So if you can figure out what commander's intent is and then use the numbers and the data and everything else to plan a strategy around that, you make your life a lot easier as a business owner.
Wow. So if everything goes wrong, it's still go for what you know that has been served you well and what is the main focus area, kind of.
The one thing you got to get done.
Yeah. Okay. It's a big concept put into small words.
So
you know,
you can think of it like most businesses formed because the business owner is actually good at something, right? They're an expert at something, but they're not very good. Being an expert makes you bad at explaining to other people how to do what you do because you're so good at it. Yeah. So commander's intent, when you think of it in that regard, is you can say to an employee, look, no matter what, the customer comes first. So when you have something like that, they don't have to make a bunch of decisions. They know for a fact that as long as you did whatever you're supposed to do to make sure the customer came first, then my boss is happy, right? So as a leader, that frees your time because they don't have to ask you a bunch of questions. They know what the strategy is. They know what we do here, right? The customer comes first, and that's what we do.
Yeah. It's like the core values type of concept where in our case it's over deliver. We're always there for a client and custom work for everyone. So if I think it's important for the team to know that, because if they don't know that, it's hard to make a decision because they don't know like what would the company always do, like what you're saying.
Exactly.
So if I have a manager and he would always need me unless he knows, first over deliver. So what are we gonna do? We're gonna find a way to give them more. And if we don't find a way, I don't know what else maybe the next thing, like at least you're there for the client.
Exactly.
And you're still giving them a really good value that is especially for them.
Exactly. And to illustrate what you're saying even more, it's if it's a web design client and the client says, hey, can you change that color? And maybe this is their out of revisions for this particular project. As the designer on the project, if I know that we over deliver, I don't need to go talk to my boss and see if we can do it. That's a simple thing. We're over delivering. I can just go change that color, right? I don't have to figure that out. I don't have to take my boss's mental energy away, right, from whatever they're doing to help me figure out this minor issue.
So as a baseline in any strategy, there's gotta be the whatever happens, we got it. We are at least gonna over deliver, for example, and that will at least get you to somewhere, to a point that towards the target, right?
Yes. It's always what's your commander's intent. What do you want your team? What do you want everybody in your company doing, no matter what?
Mm-hmm. Got it. And like if, for example, like us business owners, when you're a small company, you're probably doing your best to apply these things. But when you have a team, it becomes different, right, Daquan? Because they have to understand, right? They have to understand the core values and the strategy and what has always to be in place. So that's if you don't have that, you can't leave anyone in charge, right?
Exactly. Because they're basically order takers. So they sit around and just wait for you to tell them what to do if they don't know what you want beforehand. Right? They don't know how you want them to handle a certain situation. Of course, they're going to start getting on your nerves. Of course, they're going to seem lazy. Of course, they don't seem like they want to work because they don't know what else to do. They just don't want to get in trouble, and they don't know how to not get in trouble.
Yeah. No, you're totally right, man. And it's funny because it's something that I do with my team, and when I find out like things are not going the way I expected them to go or as planned, it's usually because some of us have forgotten what the thing were, like what the thing was, like over deliver. So it's hard. It's easier to make a decision based on this principle of the company or whatever, you know. No, I love that, man. I've never seen it that way. I've never seen core values in that way, but you made me realize how, not just how important they are, because I think I already knew that, but like how they are a baseline strategy. I've never thought about it in that way, but that's brilliant, dude. And man, like if you could mention one thing, Daquan, one thing that most business owners screwed up, they screw up there on when it comes to marketing and strategizing, what would it be?
I will say, and this is probably a little bit of an unorthodox answer.
Okay.
The ego is too inflated.
Ooh, okay. Explain that.
And they don't know. So marketing is all about empathy. It's all about empathy and connecting with somebody else's situation and bridging the gap and helping them understand how what I'm doing here with you today could help you tomorrow, right? So if my ego is inflated, then I look at it and say, well, that customer didn't do what I want them to do, so forget about it. Or I'm not going to change my messaging because I like my messaging the way it is. Or I like this logo, so I'm going to keep this logo. One of the hard lesson I learned in my own business was it actually didn't matter what I thought, right? I'm just here to run the business. It matters what my clients think, right? Because the only way I make money, the only way I attract the clients that I want, the only way I get what I want is when I give them what they want. So really, I have to shut up, get out of my own way, and listen to them. They're going to tell me everything they want, because when people have a problem, they can't wait to explain it to you. So if you just shut up, get out of your own way, listen to them, they'll tell you everything they need. They'll tell you what products you should build. They'll tell you how you should sell it to them. They'll tell you everything you ever wanted to know about them. You just got to get out of your own way. Get out of your emotional, the way you feel about it.
Dude, it's. I guess it's difficult for business owners to do that. I don't know why. But that's where the money is. Where the client, what the client wants is, because they're the ones that are paying, right? They're the paying ones. So if you don't listen to them and you don't do what they want, you know, you either switch your niche or you do something, but you can't hit, you know, like you have to hit the nail with the hammer. You can't hit it with a ruler, you know. And that's usually how it goes. And dude, and I explain that to my customers when it comes to branding and when it comes to like how they approach the clients, and it's difficult because everybody says, yes, you're right, but then when it comes time to apply it and everything, they still you know, they follow their ego more than
they throw everything you said out and go right back to what they started with.
Yeah. And why do you think that is, man? And that's not even in my question. Like, why do you think that? Now I want to know. Like, why do you think they do that? Even though it makes sense that they do what the client wants, and it makes sense that obviously they want the money, and business can't survive without money. Why do you think that is? That they still go for it and they don't give a fuck? Sorry.
It's a security blanket. It makes them comfortable.
Makes it comfortable.
So doing new things is hard, it's difficult, it's scary, right? I know that the old way I did it got me 10 customers a month, right? And that was okay-ish, but I want 30 customers a month, and I got to do something different to get 30 customers. Like, oh, you know what? Let me just do what I did to get 10 customers and hope for the best. But here comes someone like you saying, like, no, that's not going to help you get those extra 20 customers. You actually have to do this. And they say, ooh, it's scary. I don't want to do that, right? But eventually, the pain of not getting there gets to be enough where they just say, you know what, let me listen.
Yeah. You know, and you like Robert Kiyosaki?
Yeah, I like all those guys.
Okay. So if you read Rich Dad Poor Dad and the Cash Flow Quadrant, and right now I'm reading, well, it's below this folder, I think, this binder, but it's called Guide to Investing. He always talks about the ease, right? The employees and the self-employed, which most business owners fall into that category because they're not business. Because Robert Kiyosaki says that you're not a business if you cannot leave the company for a year, and then it's growing. It's still growing when you come back. So we fall into that category yet. We're almost there, but we're not there yet. And what he says is that the E's and the S's, self-employees and self-employees, in the left side of the quadrant, he said that they operate they are looking for security, right? So I guess that makes sense because we're talking about them being comfortable, and they don't want risk. What leads them to taking risk more than anyone else because of the fake beliefs that they still have, even though they know probably that these beliefs got them to where they're at, and they can't surpass that because they've tried everything. And you hear this, like I have clients, they've been trying to grow for 35 years, right? And for whatever reason, they decided to listen to us this time, and we did it, and their businesses grew. But it's still like, it's hard, dude. It's hard because they want to be secure, but there's no security. I guess maybe it's bullshit. I don't know.
That's the part that's the hardest part to get across to them. Like, there is no security. You're not secure in the position you're in right now. No. So like, if you don't go to work one day, you lose a significant amount of your income. Yeah. That's not security, right? So why are you so scared if you know that you're not secure right now? Why are you so scared of doing something that might make you even more secure? Yeah, like, that's what we're trying to do. We're not trying to take what you have away. We're trying to add to it. So why are you so worried about that?
So for our audience,
what I find, I find is the amount that they have to spend to do it is what bothers them.
So most of our audience, Daquan, I believe you already know that, but they are small business owners or they want to start a business. What would you say about being comfortable to them right now that we're in this? It's not even a script. It's not even in the question, guys, in the questions. But I want to know, like, and I want Daquan to help you all because taking risk is part of business. You have to take risk. Tell our friends right now, Daquan, like, how can they deal with deciding to be comfortable against growing and all of that stuff?
I'll say it this way. If you've lived in the United States for the last 2 years, you've been extremely uncomfortable, right? And you got through it. Every time you've ever been uncomfortable in life, you got through it. Everything in life that's been thrown at you that tried to destroy you, you got through. So there's never really a point in your life that you've actually been comfortable. It's just you just feel safe in whatever you're doing because you told yourself, I'm safe. This is safe. Yeah. People who have jobs for 35 years, they feel safe, right? That's why they have the job. But in reality, there's nothing stopping the company from laying you off and destroying your livelihood. There's nothing stopping the economy from tanking and destroying your business. There's nothing stopping any of this stuff from happening. Like, that comfort is a complete illusion. Yeah. Right? The only way, and I to quote another book, Grant Cardone from the 10X Rule, the only way is to outpace inflation, to outpace the economy, is to grow faster than everything that can happen to you. Because that's the only way you can be safe, but you're not going to be comfortable doing that either. Right? It's going to be very uncomfortable, but at least you're safe.
Yeah. Yeah, dude, I didn't know you were a Grant Cardone fan. These are the diplomas from Cardone University, and I'm a huge fan too of the 10X movement and stuff. Yes. Yeah. So we'll talk more about it later, man. But no, that's
okay. Cool.
Yeah, so like if you don't grow, you go down. That's something else that Grant says. If you're not going up, you're going down. Yep. So it's just you're not noticing, or you don't want to notice, right?
I always tell people that you have to take 2 steps forward every day, just to outpace life, right? So if you only take 1, you're keeping up. If you don't take any, you're falling behind. So you gotta take 2 to get ahead. Dude,
like, we love chess. What happens if you don't move a piece or you just move the pawns? What happens?
You move the pawns. You're gonna find yourself in a tough situation real fast.
Yeah, exactly. So because all the other stuff, inflation, the government, competition, innovation around you and stuff, it's gonna keep moving, right? Like the the other pieces of the board keep moving, but you're not moving anything. So what do you think? Like if you don't attack, right? What do you think is gonna happen if you don't attack? Go ahead. Sorry, man. Go ahead.
No, if you ask Sears 15 years ago, what do they think they'd be today? They'd probably tell you, "Oh, we're going to be one of the biggest department stores in the United States." They were comfortable, and now they're closing.
Yeah.
So, tons of businesses thought they were comfortable, but now they're closing. So you either decide that perpetual discomfort is where you want to be, and that you're okay with it, or you decide that that's not what you're going to do, and eventually you're going to close too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And Robert Kiyosaki, and with this I'll continue with the questions and stuff. But Robert Kiyosaki says business is difficult. If you don't want to be a business owner, don't become a business owner, because it's gonna be really like in my case, that was one of my dreams. But man, it's been so hard, Daquan. It's been so hard. So you really have to want it. That's what Robert Kiyosaki says, man. So tell us now. Go ahead. What?
I'm sorry. Well, I tell people that this is not fun. Like, we're not having fun. Like, you're making a bet on the future that these few years you're going to put in are worth it for you to be able to relax the rest of your life.
Yeah.
So, and you're making a big bet. You got to be a little crazy to do it.
Yeah. Dude, I think I'm crazy. I know, but like Grant says, he says in many interviews, like, people say I'm crazy, but Bank of America lends me money, man. It's funny, dude. That guy is so funny, man. So, dude, tell us now about your business. What is it that you guys do? How do you help companies grow and everything? Tell us everything about your business, my friend.
So one of the best ways to say it, I just spoke with an entrepreneur a few days ago, and he said that he realized that the things that got him to 5 million are not the things that are going to get him to 25 million. And what I do is figure out all that historical information and turn it into a plan to get you to 25 million. Right. So I tell you all the things that, you ran Facebook ads, and that was how you scaled up to 5 million. Well, now if you want to scale to 25 million, you're going to have to keep running those Facebook ads, but maybe we need to throw in some TV ads. Right. And also, we're going to need to change your supply chain a little bit, because the old manufacturer can't handle the capacity for the new amount of customers you're going to have coming in, right? Based on your forecast. And then that's when I give them the forecast and all those different things. So all of those analytical things that people tend to run away from and the numbers they don't want to get into, that's what I do. So, generally helping people make decisions to become a bigger business.
Okay. So you help them with the research, you help them with the strategy out of the research. So it's, it's going to be, likely, very likely that it's gonna work, and you have different options, I'm sure, because I can't say we're the biggest strategy people in the world, but we do that too. So it's without it, you're clueless, and it's not like, oh, I'm gonna run a Facebook ad or I'm gonna run a Google ad. You have to compare all of the stuff available, see what has been out there, has been done successfully, and not just like, because marketing changes, right, dude? Like, it changes so much, and people's minds change too. Like they get tired of being sold the same way all the time. So you got to come up with newer stuff. So
you think about it, a few years ago, if you cooked anything with trans fats, you thought you were perfectly fine. Now if you cook anything with trans fats, nobody will come to your store.
Totally. Yeah. And COVID changed things for, right? Like some people say, like, we went to like in the future, 10 years in the future, because of what happened with technology and everything. So, so you help them do the research first, the stuff that like they don't want to, or they don't know, or they don't want to do, like the research, and then the strategy part. And then you also, obviously, strategy comes with also how you're going to execute that. So, but then they need the marketing person, or what other people could they need along with your, or company could they need along with your strategy?
What I find is that normally small businesses need an agency if they don't already have one. Because
Hmm.
I can tell you all day what the customer's going to do, but like I said, I don't do the advertising. So I'm a big fan of bringing in an agency. Like hire the person that's good at what they do. Not don't, you know. I've tried to do it for clients before and I failed at it because I'm just not. It's not my thing. But if you
Yeah.
want me to figure out like your segmentation or your breakdown of what customers should go into what buckets or how your loyalty program should work, that's my thing. So for me, it does start at research. Then we do the analysis of the data. Then it goes to the plan. When we figure out like how should the business be positioned and what does that mean going
Mm.
forward. So if we do what's called it's like a positioning map, right? So you kind of map out where all the competitors are and based on customer preferences. So if you do that and then you find space in your market and you say, well, look, the way your business runs, you're actually positioned to be uh, this high end brand, not, and you sell for $25, but your highest price competitor sells for 75, right?
Mm.
But the way you build your products, the way you do things, you should be up there with the $75 brand. And that's where there's space in the market for you. So then once we know that information, like you said, after the research and the data, now we come up with the plan. How do we change the company to be the high end brand? Or do
Yeah.
we just create another brand? Does it make more sense to create another brand that's the high end brand? Or answering questions like that is what I help the clients with.
Wow, that is very like I think those are things that unfortunately most business owners don't know because they start their business and of course the most important thing is starting because you don't
Mm-hmm.
know any better, but once you started it you need to know more, like you need to know better. So you get a guy like Daquan who's gonna give you the guidance, give you the insight because he's doing all the research, finding out what's true, what's not true, looking at competitors, looking at all the data available online and offline and etc. So you can make the best decision and the best planning. Because then, how do you know that the plan, it could look amazing, right? It could sound
Mm-hmm.
fantastic, but is it realistic? Which is something that he said at the beginning, realistic plans. And I have a business coach, dude. And one of the first things is because I'm a 10X dude, I'm a 10X guy.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, dude, we gotta find like realistic stuff because this is too crazy. And
Mm-hmm.
so Daquan here will help you on actually saying, yeah, we can do this. I mean, if you do better, of course, he's gonna adjust to that, right, dude? And you're gonna,
Yeah, of course.
because things don't go as planned most of the time in
Mm-hmm.
business, right?
Yeah.
So he knows how to adapt and then concentrating what's working, what's not working, and dish it or whatever. And so
Exactly.
yeah, you feel confused right now, and you're like, shit, I need some help, and your marketing stuff is not working, and maybe you already have a marketing agency, but it's not working. Get someone like my friend Daquan here, and he's gonna put everything in line. He's gonna put you in line, explain why, and also help the marketing agency because probably they know what they're doing, but you have some fundamental issues in your company. Isn't that
Exactly.
right, my friend?
Yes, that's exactly what it is. You can hire the best marketer in the world, but if you don't have those fundamental things in place, they're not going to be as effective. They can be really good at running Facebook ads, Google ads, YouTube ads, making billboards, designing brochures, or everything under the sun. But and to give you even more, I used to do websites. I think we spoke about that. Like I used to build websites.
Yeah.
And one of the things I started asking people was like, okay, I'll build the website for you, but how do you see this fitting into your strategy? And
Yeah.
most of the time they had no answer. It was just like, I just need a website. And I was like, yeah, but we're kind of past that stage where you just put up a website. That's not going to do anything for you. What you actually need is to know, how does this fit into your marketing strategy? How does this make sense for you to do this? Like, what is it? What are the other pieces of your strategy, and how does the website work within that? And if you
Yeah.
don't know, you're basically just putting it up, and it's not going to do anything for you. And then what's going to happen as a business owner, you're going to get mad and say that you wasted all your money, and you're going to blame the web designer. And it wasn't their fault. They did exactly what they were hired to do, right? Yeah. You just didn't have that piece that makes it work for you.
Yeah, and dude, that's why all of our discovery calls and everything, and that's why it's called a discovery call, is I ask them, why do you want a website? You know, and they end up saying things sometimes that the website don't even do. Like, oh, I need to get some more online presence, and I'm like, okay, that's not it. That's not what yeah, like that, you know. If we were 10, 20 years ago, yes. But right now, absolutely. No way. No way. You need a website, right? For trustworthiness, to sell your products online. You need a website, you know, also to be able to do marketing, depending on how you're going to do it and everything. But if you want more sales, you know, you probably, what I tell them is I would first look at what you currently have. What is your list? How many people are you following up with right now? And they're like, none. And then you ask them like, but why not? Do you have a list? They're like, yeah, I have a list. How big it is? 20,000 people. And you're like, that's crazy.
You listen to like 3 emails a month and you would have been saving yourself.
Yeah, you're like, man, if you know how much that's worth, that's like I have a client, man, and they have like 4,000 emails, and every time they send an email is $700. You know, so you just gotta send an email, man. Just send an email. You need $700. Send an email. Send an email. That's it.
Yeah,
you know,
I recently had a client that I had to explain to that. You know, when you look at her retention numbers, I was like, you need to get your retention up. And she was saying that she had the emails, but she just never really did it. She was a solo shop, so she didn't really do it. But then she brought in somebody to do the email marketing, and like the next month, we saw the retention rate jump from 33% to 50%.
Wow!
So I was like, you see, like just from that, you just got 17% more business, like just from sending a couple emails.
Yeah. No, dude, it's crazy. But that's why, you know, you need someone that will get you on the right track, and that's Daquan. What is it? This guy, because the marketing person, you told them I want Google Ads because you heard the neighbor, you heard the competitor is doing Google Ads, but they probably are messing it up and they're even worse than you, but you don't know. It's like and Robert Kiyosaki calls that the following the Jonases. So you are going after the Jonases, the neighbors, right? The neighbors, you're following the Jonases, but you're also following all the crap that the Jonases are doing and all that stuff. And what you don't know is that they're in debt. They're worrying about everything, and they don't have a life and all of these things. You don't know because the Jonases are perfect. You know, it's like in social media.
I actually had a consultant friend tell me a story about how he had a client that got into a price war with another local competitor, and he had to come in and explain to the client why that was a bad idea. And the client didn't really understand. He was like, no, I have to keep my prices competitive. And he's like, but you don't know why your competitor lowered their prices. You don't know what price they're getting from the vendor.
Yeah.
Like, so you're lowering, you're destroying your margins trying to keep up. But his are like way higher than yours. So he can still go lower while you're about to put yourself out of business. You know, and I've always told people it's better to focus on your brand, focus on your positioning, than to try to basically like blue ocean strategy. I'm not trying to compete where, you know, I'm not competing directly with Walmart. I can't win that game. I'm going to do what Walmart can't do, you know, and I'm going to hold that little space and get all the customers who want to be in that little space with me.
No, dude, it's sad because you do business to business and I do business to business, and we see it every day. Man, it's crazy. But dude, now what are the next? Okay, before we get into that, what is your company's name? I don't think we've heard it.
Learner Market Group.
Okay, and how can we find you, my friend?
You can find me online, learnermg.com. Also on Instagram and on Facebook. I'm on Facebook, but not really like I don't do much on the business page. But on Instagram is just my name, Daquan M. Hall. Yeah, that's and Twitter is Daquan was taken because I couldn't get my name.
Got it. Dude, do you see me? You see me moving or no?
No, you're frozen.
I froze?
But I can hear you.
What happened there? But anyways, okay. Hopefully it will fix itself. Man, that's great. And now, so what are the next goals for Daquan and his company?
I have set out on a mission to hit $10 million in sales in 10 years. So I'm intending to grow and hire and bring in more people like me so we can serve more customers and hopefully do really good work, because it's not all about the money, but it's, you know, it's a little bit about the money.
Of course. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Still trying to fix it here. But no, of course, man. And
there you go.
There we go. Woo! I fixed it. Live. How do you guys like that? Man, I'm so used to shit happening that I solve it immediately. You see? Man, so that's great. So 10 million and what else?
I hopefully have a few offices in a few different cities and bring in more people to just really do some great work and help as many people as possible. And really help. I don't want to be one of those consulting companies that comes in and like, you know, the big four have a bad rep for this, but they come in and just tell you how to do what you already said you were going to do anyway. I don't want to be that company. I want to come in and really help you with some impactful thinking and, you know, changing the paradigm of the company and the way we look at things going forward.
Nice. Woo, let's go, man. I like that. And 10 million, it's, you know, like he's not playing around. Okay, 10 million is 10 million.
Yeah,
okay?
That's a big boutique firm.
Yeah. So you want a big thinker and big dreamer, get this guy, because you need someone that doesn't just say yes, you know, I want you to get there, but he's also doing it himself in his own business. Yeah. Like right now, dude, and I'm gonna continue here because the next question is fire. It's like, you know, right now, just because another client just moved a budget up in advertisement, they're winning. But we were the people inside our company that we do their marketing for ourselves were the highest budget. Okay, so we, you know, like we do marketing too ourselves.
Yeah.
So you guys, yeah, like when they complain and they say like, shit, you don't know because it's, you know, that's a lot of money. And I'm like, yeah, I know. I spend more than you do. I know, I know. And I understand, but I've been there, and the only way to grow and keep doing the things the right way is, you know, you got to do what we're telling you. And that's the same thing we do. So it's different than, oh yeah, I'm a coach or hey, do this. And they're like, yeah, but what, have you done it too? Or, you know, it's not the same.
I tell people all the time, like my first thing, as soon as I'm confused, I break out a spreadsheet. That's always what I do. That's my wheelhouse. I'm breaking out a spreadsheet. I need to break this down and really figure this out and model this whole thing out so I know what's going to happen. Yeah.
No, man, it's important. It's important because you got to be in their shoes too, and you can do a better job understanding them. Exactly. So if you could go back, my friend, when you started, you just started your business, you decided I'm going to be an entrepreneur and everything. What would you do differently this time? If you could go back with everything you know now.
Oh my goodness.
So like my question, Daquan?
Yeah, that was a great one.
Thanks, man.
I think I would probably get over myself faster. Because a lot of what my problem in the beginning was I don't want to do that. I don't want to do this thing. The same thing I said before, your own ego. Like, I don't want to make videos, even though video is the way that people really interact online now. I don't want to make videos. I don't like being on camera. Or, oh no, I don't want to go out to a networking event. I don't want to go meet these people. You know, so if I could change anything, it would be getting over myself and realizing that there's nobody under the sun who gets what they want just because they decided that they want it. You got to go do something for it. And I would just get over myself and go make those videos and go meet those people and connect faster and, you know.
You know, I'm sure you've heard this, but you know the be, do, and have, right? Obviously.
Oh no, I've never heard of it.
You've heard of it, right? So you know, it's what Daquan said. Like most of us, we want this, but we're not willing to be the person that they have to be and do the things they have to do to have the things you want. So you're fucked. You're not gonna make it, man. I'm sorry to tell you the truth, but you're not gonna do it because you gotta be that person. And to be, you have to do the things that you probably don't want to do. But if you still want to be whatever it is that you want to be a doctor, you gotta study medicine, right? And then you in it's fucking 7 years, and especially you know you gotta specialize. So it's 14 years studying, and then you will have what the doctors have, but you won't make it if not. Go ahead. What?
A saying I like to teach my daughter is that the shortcut is the fastest path to the long way. So when you try to go around whatever the problem is, instead of going through it, you just leading yourself right back to the problem.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, confront, right? Like, what's the problem? Let's fix it right now. Don't procrastinate it. It's gonna grow.
Yep. Don't try to figure out how to reinvent the wheel. Like, you're gonna have to go through this process. This entrepreneurship is a journey. It's a journey of self-discovery. There's that part of it, and you got to go through it. There's no other way around it.
Yeah, I love it, Daquan. That's great, man. And dude, what are 3 books that you would recommend to our friends here, our watchers?
The 10X Rule. Now that you say that, James Clear, his book, Atomic Habits.
Okay.
And Think and Grow Rich.
Got it. Yeah. I'm learning too, guys. And you know, like what I do, man, is I reread the books because and there's one book here. I don't know if you guys can see it. It's called The Scale. All of you guys have to watch it. You too, Daquan. It's the best business book I've ever read in my life, and I've read it twice. And sometimes you read something, but the level that you're at right now, it's different from when you read it than when you read it the second time. So you probably don't have the problem that they're talking about in the book at the first time you read it. But things change. If you're growing, especially, things happen differently, and then now you probably have the same problem that you were like, man, I don't know how can someone have that problem. You can't even say that at the time you're reading the book, and then you read it the second time, and you're like, man, I needed this. And I remember I read it, and I thought like, shit, who can fall for that? You know, so I read them twice, man, or twice, whatever. Like it helps a lot.
Hey, I'm glad you said it. I thought that only happened to me.
Oh no, man. I mean, it never happens to anyone that hasn't done it. You know, it won't happen. It won't happen. But it's like we were in this conference, man, at a seminar, and they were saying like, you know, everyone can. It's like it was a hiring seminar, and the coach said like everyone can, you know, like jump without a parachute from an airplane. Anyone can do it, you know. But not everyone that does it will do it twice. You know? So I mean, it's funny, man. Thank you for the books. Now, this is like one of the best things, man. One of the best questions I believe so far. And everyone here mentioned in the comments, what do you think about this? Because we keep doing it, and I want to know your opinion. What we were talking before. Find out what they like. And it's this question: if you could mention 3 things, only 3 things, Daquan, what would be the best 3 tips to give to a brand new entrepreneur?
Record everything, or rather measure everything, because what gets measured gets improved. Get out of your own way. Just get over yourself as quickly as possible, and no matter what, give your customers Like, roll out the red carpet for them. Give them that great experience. We didn't really get into the experience part, but customer experience, I believe it's something 80-something% of customers will pay more. I believe it's 86%, if I'm remember right, will pay more for an experience that they enjoyed over just shopping, right? So that's why Publix can be a little bit more expensive and you still go, right? If you just Google any customer experience stat, it'll show you that, companies that rank the highest in customer experience also rank the highest in growth, right? So, and you also spend less on marketing because your customers become your salespeople. They go and tell all their friends about their great experiences, and their friends say, "Oh, well, of course I want to come." Right? So really roll out the carpet for your customers in a way that makes sense for your business. Give them what they're asking for. There's a great video online called "Give Them the Pickle." I forgot his name, but the guy that does it. But if you look up "Give Them the Pickle," that's what he's talking about. Just give your customers the pickle. When they ask for a pickle, don't charge them for it. Just give it to them, right? So that they're happy. And happy people want to spend more money. They want to spend more money more often, right? So again, it makes your life easier as a business owner.
So over deliver. What do we do?
Exactly.
And if you're wondering and you don't know, like, you can't think of any companies that do that, Amazon, Tesla, American Express, huge on that, huge. Okay. And if you search look at the difference in the stock market between Visa, MasterCard, and American Express, it's clear that that it matters. And you give them a call. If you have an American Express card, you know what I'm talking about. But if you don't, get an American Express card and give them a call, and you'll see the big difference. It's insane in customer service. And Elon Musk said, dude, to complement what you said, and sorry, hold on, I'll let you talk. Sorry about that. So Elon Musk, he said that they don't spend as much money on marketing, like what Daquan said, because they prefer to spend that money in the car, make it better, and like what he said, it markets itself because the product is absolutely amazing.
Exactly. And in that case, owning a Tesla becomes its own status symbol. It becomes its own thing. So people want to tell everybody about their Tesla, right? The experience of it's like being a vegan. Like, once people become vegan, they can't help but tell everybody that they're vegan. Same thing with being a Tesla owner, right? So, and it's just, when you think about Chick-fil-A, right? It's one little thing that they do that people really love. It's not that the chicken sandwiches are that amazing. It's just that when you say thank you, they say my pleasure. And it sounds like every time they say it, it sounds like they mean it.
Yeah.
Right? And it just gives you that little bit of thing that says, oh, that was nice. Right? And that's all it is. It's those little things. And no matter what, you'll see Burger King, McDonald's, all their competitors can't copy it.
Yeah.
Because that's their special thing.
Man, it's been great having you here, Daquan. Dude, thank you so much. God bless you. Thank you here. Thank you again. We'll have you again, dude, because you totally nailed it. And please, everyone, say thank you in the comments to Daquan. If you're on Instagram, where we can't see it, but we'll feel it in our hearts. Okay. Thank you so much. So anything you want to say for our audience before we leave, my friend?
I pray that all of you do great in your businesses. If not, reach out. I'd love to talk to you. And
once again, before we leave, how can they find you, Daquan?
You can go to my website, learnermg.com. That's M as in Mary, G as in Gary.com. You can catch me on Instagram as Daquan M. Hall. That's my handle. Twitter is Quan Was Taken. Spelled QUANWASTAKEN. Because literally Quan was taken. They wouldn't let me have it. So just reach out those ways, and I love to talk about this stuff. I'm a business nerd for real, so you can do something to me, and
me too. That's funny you said that. Oh my God. No, thank you so much, dude. God bless you, your family, Daquan, and please say thank you, everyone in the chat, for Daquan. God bless you guys. Thank you for the ones that stick around to the end. You rock. and you're why we keep doing this, and you're fabulous. Thank you so much. God bless you guys, and we'll see you in the next one. Woo!
Thanks, everybody.